There's a moment every woman has experienced at least once. You're trying to talk to your partner. You're trying to explain how you feel. Your voice is still, your emotions are real. And all of a sudden, right in front of you, he shuts down. His eyes glaze over, his energy disappears, and he simply goes silent. And you're sitting there thinking, why does he have to do this? And why does he pull away like this when I'm trying to express myself? In situations like this, most of the women think he doesn't care, he's avoiding me, he's being cold. But the truth is far more surprising, and once you understand it, it will completely change the way you communicate with your partner forever. According to John Ray, when a woman expresses her feelings, her brain relaxes. Talking helps her release stress, reconnect, and feel safe again. But for a man, her emotional expression triggers the opposite effect. When a woman starts talking, especially with intensity, a man's brain interprets it as pressure, as criticism, or even as a sign he's failing. Not because she's doing something wrong, but because men are biologically wired to solve problems, not process feelings verbally. So when you're trying to express your feelings and talk to him emotionally, the only thing he hears is something is wrong and you need to fix it right now. And of course, this overwhelms him. He goes into a stress response and his instinct becomes shut down, withdraw, and go silent. Not because he doesn't care, but because silence is the only thing that helps him calm down. So there's a huge gap between men and women communication. Let's see an example. Women talk to connect and men connect through doing. Women feel safe when they're expressing their emotions, and men feel safe when they're not being pressured by anyone. Women want to be heard and men want to not disappoint. So most of the time when a woman says to her man, "You're never listening to me," the only thing he's hearing right now is "you're failing." When she says, "You always shut down," he hears "you're not enough for me." And suddenly his silence gets even stronger. But here's the crazy part. When a woman uses her language, she feels like she's being honest. But when she just tries only for once to use his language, suddenly everything opens. I'm talking about the little shifts you can do every single day in your life. Instead of "we never talk enough," you can always say "I miss our connection." Instead of "you don't care," you can always say "I feel a bit distant from you lately." And instead of "you always shut down," you can always say "I want to feel more close to you again." And believe me, I know this sounds manipulating, but this isn't manipulation. This is transformation. You're simply speaking in a way that his heart and brain understands. And when a man feels safe, he talks, he shares, and he opens even more. By the way, if you want to learn exactly how to communicate with a masculine energy, how to understand their reactions, their silence, and their emotional patterns on a deeper feminine level, my program teaches the kind of feminine communication that makes a man feel safe, seen, and naturally more open without forcing, pushing, or creating pressure. Because all of this is created for girls who want results and not only theory. Now, let's continue to the video. When a man goes silent, he is not ignoring you. He is not leaving you emotionally. He is not punishing you even. He is simply processing. Think it this way. Silence is his version of journaling, thinking, organizing, and finding clarity. It is his way of saying, "Give me a little space so I can calm down and I don't say things I'll regret later. Let me calm my system so I can show up better for you." And that's why John Gray calls this moment cave mode. Women avoid silence because they fear distance, but men seek silence because it helps them return stronger than ever. And here's the beautiful part, because after a man comes out of his cave, he loves harder, connects deeper, and becomes more emotionally available, but only when she doesn't punish him for needing space. Another common question I receive is how to respond when he shuts down. And this is where our feminine power truly shines. If you want, you can take a notebook, you can take a pen, or you can simply put it in your phone on your screen. But when he goes silent, you don't chase, you don't demand, you don't pressure, you don't panic. Instead, you should let him breathe, reset, and come back on his own. Because when a man feels trusted, he naturally opens up. You don't need to convince him, force him, or explain yourself 100 times. You simply need to communicate from a place of understanding instead of urgency. So if you have moments when he simply shuts down, you can softly say, "I'm here when you're ready," or "Let's continue this when we both feel calm." And believe me, these two sentences create miracles because it tells him on a subconscious level that he is safe with you and you're not his enemy. And believe me, every man responds to this kind of energy. So imagine if women understood this earlier, if you stopped taking his silence personally, and imagine if every argument became a moment of connection and definitely not distance. Do you want to know what would have happened? Relationship wouldn't fall apart over misconnection. Men wouldn't feel attacked, and women simply wouldn't feel unheard. Because the real truth is, he's not shutting down to hurt you. He's shutting down to protect on a deeper level this relationship. And once a woman understands and sees this, everything changes. So the next time he goes silent and he goes into his cave mode, I want you to remember he is not disappearing and he is not withdrawing love. He is simply regulating so he can return a better man. And the moment you learn to speak in a way his heart can receive, you unlock a version of him you've never seen before, ever. Communication is not about talking, it's about connecting. And once you put effort into understanding his silence, you will finally understand him.